Listen Up Girl podcast, where we break down today's biggest stories in queer news, culture, and everything in between. Today is Tuesday, October 14th, and I'm your host, Zach Randles-Friedman, and you are listening to my 100th show of my Listen Up Girl podcast. So let's get into it. Our first story is Wild Atlantic EuroPride comes to Ireland. For the first time ever, EuroPride, Europe's biggest LGBTQ celebration, is heading to Ireland. The 2028 event will be hosted jointly by Limerick and Clare under the name Wild Atlantic EuroPride. This is more than just a festival, it's a milestone. It marks Ireland's first time hosting EuroPride, shining a global spotlight on the nation's growing reputation as a progressive, inclusive, and welcoming destination for queer communities. With the Wild Atlantic Way, the breathtaking 1,500-mile stretch of coastline as the backdrop, organizers say this will be EuroPride like no other. Expect rural pride parades, music and art from local Irish creatives, and cultural experiences rooted in connection community. It's a major win for Ireland, a country that just a decade ago became the first in the world to legalize same-sex marriage by popular vote. In 2028, it will remind the world just how far equality and visibility have come on the Emerald Island. I was actually in Ireland years ago whenever they were doing a vote to make abortion legal. And this is a very Catholic country, and I believe that it did pass. So they are way ahead of us in the United States on being more inclusive and more open. Next story is federal judge blocks Florida book ban law. In a major legal setback for Governor Ron DeSantis, a federal judge in Florida has struck down key parts of the state's sweeping book ban legislation, ruling it so vague and overreaching that it violated the U.S. Constitution. The law expanded the so-called Don't Say Gay bill, prohibiting classroom discussions about sexual orientation and gender identity through 8th grade. It also allowed parents to challenge and remove books from libraries they deemed inappropriate. District Judge Carlos Menendez called the provisions overbroad and unconstitutional, writing that none of these books are obscene. Among the works removed were The Color Purple, The Handmaid's Tale, and Looking for Alaska, all acclaimed stories that explore sexuality, gender, and personal identity. The Authors Guild, which joined the lawsuit alongside parents and publishers, hailed the decision as a victory for free expression. CEO Mary Raschenberger said book bans don't just censor words, they erase the lived experiences of marginalized voices. The ruling is expected to set an important precedent as Florida continues to face legal challenges over censorship and educational freedom. Next, we go to France, where French court fines women over transphobic rumor against Brigitte Macron. In Paris, a French court has convicted 2 women of libel and hateful speech after they spread a false and transphobic rumor claiming the First Lady, Brigitte Macron, was born a man. The women were each ordered to pay 13,500 euros, around 15,000 US dollars, in fines and damages for promoting a conspiracy theory that alleged Macron was secretly her brother, Jean Michel, who had supposedly transitioned. The bizarre claim first surfaced online in 2021 and gained traction in far-right circles, reflecting the increasing weaponization of anti-trans rhetoric even in Europe. The First Lady of France, who rarely comments on politics, called the rumor absurd and deeply hurtful. The French court's decision reaffirms that defamation and transphobia have no place in public disclosure. That was reported by LGBTQ Nation. Next, we go to New York City, where homophobic attack in Midtown Manhattan. New York City police are investigating a violent homophobic assault that took place near West 52nd Street in Midtown Manhattan just after midnight on September 28th. According to investigators, a 25-year-old and a 28-year-old man were walking together when an unidentified man approached, shouted racial and homophobic slurs, and then punched both of them in the face before fleeing the scene. The suspect, described as having a dark complexion, was last seen wearing dark-colored shirt, blue jeans, and black and white sneakers. Police are urging anyone with information to contact Crime Stoppers at 1-800-577-TIPS or online at crimestoppers.nypdonline.org. All tips remain confidential. The incident comes amid an uptick in reported anti-LGBTQ plus hate crimes across the U.S., underscoring the continued need for stronger protections and accountability. Next, we go to Massachusetts, where foster parents lose license over anti-LGBTQ plus views. A couple in Massachusetts has had their foster license revoked after refusing to sign a non-discrimination policy that protects LGBTQ plus youth. Lydia and Heath Marvin, who had fostered 8 children under the age of 4 since 2020, declined to sign the document required by the state's Department of Children and Families. The policy affirms that foster parents must not discriminate or attempt to change a child's gender identity or sexual orientation. Lydia Marvin told CBS News, "We absolutely love and support any child in our home, but we simply can't go against our Christian faith in this area." The DCF revoked their license in April, saying that protecting the safety and identity of foster youth is non-negotiable. Advocates argue that ruling affirms the state's commitment to ensuring LGBTQ plus kids are placed in supportive environments, not ones where identities are questioned or suppressed. The case adds fuel to the broader national debate over religion, parental rights, and the state's duty to protect queer youth. Next we go, and Tango Makes 3 heads to court. The children's book And Tango Makes 3, about 2 male penguins who adopt and raise a chick at New York's Central Park Zoo, is at the center of a major First Amendment lawsuit in Florida. The book's author, Peter Purnell and Justin Richardson, along with a student plaintiff, sued Escambia County School Board after it removed the title from the libraries for what they call inappropriate LGBTQ plus content. The plaintiffs argue the removal amounts to a viewpoint discrimination, violating students and the author's free speech rights. They say the book's simple message that same-sex families exist and deserve visibility threatens no one. The school board claims it was merely curating its collection, but legal experts warn the case could have far-reaching implications for intellectual freedom in schools. And Tango Makes 3 has been challenged repeatedly across the U.S., yet remains one of the most beloved LGBTQ plus inclusive children's books ever written. I'm going to go out and buy that book today just to support them. Next, our next story is ICE claps back at Chappell Roan. Pop sensation Chappell Roan, known for her unapologetically queer aesthetic and powerhouse performances, is facing backlash from the Department of Homeland Security after criticizing ICE on stage. During a concert in Los Angeles, Ronan spoke out against deportation, saying the U.S. government should be focused on compassion and reform instead of separation and fear. The next day, DHS issued a defensive statement to TMZ, bizarrely telling Roan to get a grip. Fans rallied around her online, praising her courage and reminding officials that the right to free expression includes calling out injustice. The moment further cements Chappell Roan as one of the pop's boldest new voices, not just musically, but politically. Next, the Supreme Court rejects P-Valley lawsuit. The U.S. Supreme Court has declined to hear a case from R&B singer Nikki Gilbert, who accused Lionsgate and Starz of stealing her creative concept for their hit show P-Valley. Gilbert claimed that P-Valley, which explores the lives of mostly Black women and non-binary people working at a strip club called The Pink, was based heavily on her stage musical Soul Kittens Cabaret. By refusing to hear the case, the Supreme Court effectively upholds the lower court's decision, siding with P-Valley creators and dismissing Gilbert's copyright claim. The ruling allows the acclaimed show to continue its run unchallenged, preserving what many fans consider one of the most authentic portrayals of queer and Black Southern life on television. And next we go to St. Petersburg debates flags for inclusion. And our final story today, St. Petersburg, Florida, the city council has delayed a vote on whether to approve 2 new flags symbolizing the city's ongoing commitment to diversity and inclusion. The proposed flags were designed by an artist whose street murals were erased earlier this year under orders from Governor Ron DeSantis, who labeled them political. Council member Gina Driscoll, who introduced the measure, said flags are a reflection of the city's identity, and these flags will represent the people of St. Petersburg, all of us. Some council members requested more information before voting and expressing concerns about political state retaliation, like cutting funds. Still, many residents see the proposal as a bold statement that St. Petersburg remains one of Florida's most inclusive cities, regardless of political pressure from Tallahassee. And that's your gay and queer news rundown for today. We went from Ireland's historic EuroPride to America's ongoing culture war. And things clear, visibility, love, and resilience are louder than hate. I'm Zach Randles-Friedman, and this is Listen Up Girl. And don't forget to follow and share. And remember, Pride isn't just a month, it is a movement. Thanks for listening.